Good afternoon. Welcome to today's edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E. I'm, of course, KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. A lot to discuss today. We'll see if we can squeeze it all in once, especially once. And there she is. She is just so punctual. And let me see if I can squeeze her in the right way I want to do this, as I always do. There we go. Miss Lauren Sampson. How are you?
Good. Chaotic.
I'm sure. All right, let me do this again. There we go. Delete this. There we go. New platform, Lauren. Still learning how to do all these things and bells and whistles here.
No problem.
I really want to talk to you about your hand in the awesome ring design.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And let me add you to this second scene, because that's what I really want to discuss is you and this next thing, because this really blew me away. So let me do this and bring you in, because I got pictures. I got all kinds of stuff that I want you to go over and discuss, if you don't mind. And the first thing I want to bring up is the video clip itself. And for copyright purposes, no sound, because I don't want to get in trouble. But this, let's just start right there. I love that.
Thank you.
So what was the process involved, and how long did it take, and everything? What do you want to share?
Yeah, I work with Victory Rings out of Houston, Matt Hall, and they do such a great job. We've been working with them for a couple of years now. I have a spreadsheet throughout the year of accomplishments, and once I know that we'll get a ring, which is usually, it was the Texas Tech game in Lubbock. I knew we were going to be at least a share of the Big 12 championship. So I knew, okay, we're going to have a ring this year. And then I start the design process then. And then as the accomplishments started coming in, the ring kept getting bigger.
Indeed, so much so as I'm going to play more of the video. I love that. We'll talk about that too. I broke it down in slides too, Lauren. So, but I love that. I love all of this. That right there, the 3 rings. Just going to talk about those 3 rings, and a little teaser there. I mean, you kind of saw what a little bit is inside the 3 rings, but everything that went into each ring.
Yeah, I mean, it's one ring. But
okay.
So it's one ring. But the 3 sides, I think each ring should tell a story of the season. I always, when you kind of sit down and you think about what you want the ring to look like, the idea is 20 years from now, I want these, you think about these players and they're sitting down with their families, and I want this ring to kind of be able to tell the story of this season to their kids. And so that's kind of how I think about it as we're going to design the ring, is I want it to be able to tell the story of the season.
And you have a good afternoon from one viewer, and I think you know this person right here. Do you know Miss Wanda Polk?
I do know Miss Wanda.
And she just, every year the rings are more and more beautiful.
Thank you.
If you are connected with Houston athletics, you probably know Wanda Polk, honestly. And she has been good to UH athletics. She's been good to me and the Houston Roundball Review and Let's Rage Coogs and everything that we're doing on our live stream show. So I'm glad she was able to join us. I let her know you're going to be a guest on today's show, when she was very excited about that. So thank you. But more to it, did I miss the hand? Where's the hand? Whose hand is that?
Luke Butler.
Okay.
Who does all of our videos and a lot of our photos.
Because I was wondering, is that Lauren's hand or not? But okay. Cool. This, the idea of the top coming off, and then I guess it was at downtown H-Town on the base there.
Yeah.
How did that? What gave you that idea?
I've seen it a couple times. I've been wanting to do it for years, but obviously the accomplishment has to match kind of the idea. So national championship game, obviously. And then I always have, I have my pendant on now. I've always done the, my dad's looking in my office.
Tell him I said hi.
I always wear a pendant. I always make all the rings that we do for the team. My mom and I always do it as a pendant. And everyone always goes, "Oh, I want a pendant. I always want a pendant." So it's always kind of been in the back of my head that I want to do a pendant element to the ring. And so for this ring, we did it. So that the part that comes off, you can actually make into a pendant.
And this, of course, I think that's really what I wanted to get. I want to get into this, the stills, because I broke it down. I just love all that Big 12 champs, everything. Lauren, I hope the day comes. This is my question for when it does come. Let me speak it into existence.
Yes.
When the team wins it all, what is the ring going to look like? How can you top this?
Oh man, we're gonna be Flavor Flav. They're gonna be so big. I mean, it's gonna be epic. I have ideas that I've been keeping, under my cap. It's gonna be epic.
I think all of us who are supporters, followers of Houston Cougars men's basketball look forward to seeing the Flavor Flav kind of rings. Because, oh my goodness, does your dad know who Flavor Flav is?
Yes, he keeps laughing at me. He looked at me like I was crazy when I pitched him this. And kind of showed him, before I can hit, order, I have to show him every ring. And every year he just kind of stares at me like I've lost my marbles.
Well, one part of the ring that is my favorite is that.
Always.
I love culture. I love the, put on the ring. I mean, that is just exemplifies everything that Coach Sampson and the staff and the players, the team, they embody that year in, year out. And I mean, that is appropriate to be there. I love that. Let me see what else and just examples of the ring, Midwest region champs. How long did it take to design the rings, to make the rings, engrave everything?
Yeah. So we got back that Tuesday. Matt was in my office that Thursday. We started the design process that Thursday. And then it takes about a month once we start kind of pulling all of the ice together. Over the course of a year, if I see a ring, so when the NBA, when NFL puts together, I mean, I pull ideas kind of throughout the year. So when Major League Baseball, I mean, ideas come, right? So when any ring comes out, I just have a Dropbox with just ring designs. So anytime anybody gets a ring, if I like any element of it, I just start pulling ideas. And so I like this, I like that concept, I like that. And it could be a ring from years ago that I've kept and you just start pulling. And so he and I will sit down and so for this one, we were just pulling. And so it takes a while for it all kind of to come together, but it's usually, I think we finalize this one. Early May.
Early May. So, okay, it's about a month.
Yeah, early May. And then he delivered them to my office. What, a week ago?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to do it the Colorado game and they just didn't get in.
Mm-hmm.
And so we pivoted. And so they got in for the Tech game.
Okay. I mean, and let me see, another thing about it. I like undefeated on the road. The details are just, I love technology. I'm just impressed with how it's done and engraving. I'd love to see a video how the making of the ring.
Show the trophies. I'll show you a piece of the detail of what we did, even on the trophy.
Let me see. Which one is that?
The one where it has like the 3 trophies.
You put me on the spot here, Lauren. Let me see. In the video, I can go to that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me find video. Okay. Here we go. Tell me when to pause it.
Okay. There. A little bit back.
A little bit back. All right. This one?
Yep. So we wanted the 3 trophies that won last year, and then on the Big 12 regular season trophy, which is the one furthest to the left.
Okay.
Down the middle of it, we put back to back.
Wow. I truly, from the bottom of my Cougar alum heart, look forward to the ultimate epic championship ring.
We're not done. So then we also have above the Final Four trophy is the regular season record, so 35-5.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the ring with the Final Four logo, we have number 2. And so that represents, number 1, our final national ranking, but also it represents our second Final Four.
I see that now too. See, I didn't notice that part. Yeah, look at that. Okay. You thought of everything.
And then around the top, you see all of those numbers. That represents every number of all the kids that were on the team.
Wow. And how many rings were made? How many people got a ring?
It's everyone. I couldn't even tell you. It's we're such a program of obviously all of the players, and then it's all of the coaches' wives. But it's a lot of, especially those folks that were with us, those donors that I don't think this program would be what it was without them that were with us at the beginning, that kind of believed in this vision that we had at that beginning when we said, just trust us. And they did. Because those early years, you had to trust us.
Indeed. And we've talked about this before. I'll say it again. I mentioned to Jeff Conrad Tuesday how now at practices, media practices, the media sessions after practice, I'm seeing Coogs TV there. I met guys from Coogs Radio there, in addition to the TV stations and the newspaper. None of those folks were there in the beginning. It was me, the beat writer for the Chronicle, because I'm not sure if it was Joseph at that time. I'm not sure. And that might have been it. And Mark Berman. That'll be it.
Yeah.
So to see from the 3 of us way back then to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people from media at practice, after practice, I just enjoy the journey. Obviously, I hope the program wins it all. No question. Because as I said in our post-game shows, I'm going to hand some of my credential and run around just acting stupid for so much joy and, just really lose my mind. Forget our media for like 5 minutes. But I'm enjoying this. I remember when there was me and you in the building, and empty sections all over the place. And so the journey has been so enjoyable for me. I'm just enjoying the ride. I enjoy being along for the ride.
I think if, especially if you weren't there in those early years of Hoffines, I think it's hard. I don't think you can appreciate kind of where you are now. I think it's really easy to nitpick sometimes, those, non-conference games now, and the building's not fully packed. And you're like, those of us who remember Hoffines conference game, and I don't really, lose sleep in a non-conference game where it's not packed to the gills. Of course it's not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to lose sleep over it, right? Like, I think perspective is a beautiful thing. Um, I'm so proud of this program. I'm so proud of every kid that has come through this program, every coach that's been a part of this program, the journey that we've all been on, the sleepless nights, the campus blitzes that we've done, all the students that have come through, everyone that just kind of believed in us blindly early on. All of those rings that we've done, all of the projects we've done. I remember early on, gosh, I used to have 13 interns, and we would little things like I would go on campus and I would beg them to allow me to do flyers, even in like the napkin holders in the cafeteria, with that I could put what games would in, so they would let me change it out every week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we would just do things independently, just as men's basketball. Like, just how can we as men's basketball get in front of these students? Anything we could do just to figure it out. We figured out, okay, what night did these kids go out? And what time did they come back? And we would put flyers underneath the dorm, underneath their doors, what times they'd come back, what time would the food trucks come out on campus, and I would have interns meeting them to hand out flyers. Like, we would try anything and everything. Texas Southern, when the shuttles would come around, like, we were doing everything as we were building this program, so that now, you can just send a tweet out. Like, there's the evolution of the program that I think if you just kind of met us now, I don't know if you can fully appreciate it.
Question for you. I'm kind of curious as your answer to this. Since last year was another banner year, is there enough space to hang another banner wall at Fertitta Center?
Yes. Listen, we're going to figure it out.
We'll make space.
We'll make space.
That's a great problem to have. That's what that. Okay, next two pictures. I know this is kind of near and dear to your heart. I pull these from Instagram. I want to show this. Just your thoughts on what year is this for Hoops and Hounds?
This was our 4th.
And that's Mercy Miller and JoJo and Cordell. And I noticed in the video clip, one of the dogs was kind of rowdy.
The female. Yeah, I loved her because she was the only girl. And as the only girl on our staff, I very much identify.
But so when was this? How long ago was this?
We did that the beginning of September. So the first couple of weeks of school, it was great. I mean, I just love it. One, it's just such a fun day for everyone. It's such a nice thing. I always, my pet peeve is when everyone does the kind of get to know you videos, and you put a kid in front of a green screen and it tends to look like a hostage video. As great as these kids are, and you get in front of a green screen and it's, hey, what's your favorite color? And they just look at you. And instead, first of all, let's do some good. And so these shelters have all of these wonderful adoptable dogs, and we're so passionate about adoptable dogs. We've always had adoptable dogs. I have a dog that I rescued from shelter. My parents have dogs that they've rescued from shelter. So it's such a lovely thing to do. And then two, it allows our players' personalities to come out, and they're so relaxed. And so it's just kind of a fun afternoon for everybody.
And there's the other picture right there with Chase, Kingston, and Jacob. Did everybody participate in it?
Yeah.
Was there any player who is not a fan of dogs?
No. And in fact, a couple of our players went and got dogs after this event.
Okay, well, that's good. Because I think, and maybe, hasn't there been at least one or two players that they're not dog people?
Yes, we in years past, we've had a couple players who have been very fearful, and they've kind of sucked it up for me. But this team was just kind of down for it.
It's early. We haven't had a game yet.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on this year's group of young men?
I'm so excited for this team to show their personality. It's gonna be a brand new team. The last couple years, it's been, veterans, where we've just kinda had a couple of new guys. This is gonna be a brand new team.
Mhm.
And so it's gonna be it's gonna be Cougar basketball. It's not gonna be brand new Cougar basketball. We're never gonna change, completely, but there's gonna be a lot of new faces, and there's a lot of tinkering going on Cullen to figure out the best way to showcase this new talent. So I'm excited to see everyone.
How what's the status of because it's almost time for the tip off dinner,
It's sold out.
and who's going to be what the guest, the honoree? What am I trying to say?
Yeah, honorary Bo Outlaw.
Charles Bo Outlaw. How about? Ooh, I'm old. I remember him covering him when he was. Well, no, actually, I think I might have been a student when Bo was a student playing at UH too. So yeah, we're about the same age. Wow, I'm old. Okay, but the logistics in getting that done, is it going to take place again on campus?
Yes, the Hilton.
And it's sold out. How long did it take to sell out?
It sells out before I announce it. It's just kind of everyone who has bought, we just reach out to and they buy again.
I kind of, have you seen the football ops and want to take a few ideas from there?
I have not seen it. I am fully engrossed in men's basketball, and I have my plate full with men's basketball.
I'm not sure how to what I think about that, because the facility's great. I know you're busy. I know that, but I mean, your
I've
part.
seen the lobby. It's beautiful. But I have not.
Okay, well, they need to change that. They need to, you know, give you a tour of the facilities. I mean, you're part of royalty for Houston Cougar people and fans and supporters. So yeah, you need to get a tour of the. Heck, I've seen the facility, and who am I? I mean, come
I
on.
mean, like sincerely, it is. My hands are full with men's basketball.
I understand, but I mean, I get it. But that is really it's this this is the time of year. Basketball season is here, as far as I'm concerned. So this appearance by you is kind of like an annual
Yes.
thing we do now, and I always appreciate you taking time for you. See, I'm not the only one. You are a superstar.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and thank you. CA37 says it, and I say it, and I'm sure Miss Wanda says it, and Rex says it as well. Thank you for everything you continue to do for the program, what you've done since the beginning, as you talked about minutes ago, from the beginning, and what you had to do to generate interest on campus and around campus, and now enjoying the fruits of your labor.
Oh, we haven't stopped. It's still a grind.
What you have anything that you've learned that you're going to implement this year for us?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't stop. It's always an evolution. It's always, you know, it's been really fun kind of being in the Big 12, being back in the Big 12. I grew up in the Big 12 and traveling around to all the different schools. Now, after year two, we've now been to all the Big 12 schools. Well, we haven't been to Utah. Utah's the last um, of the Big 12 schools we haven't been to. So this year we'll go to Utah. But have been to all of them now and what we've seen on the road and wanting to bring to Fertitta. So we're going to add some new wrinkles to game day. So we're starting to go through rehearsals of what we want to bring to game day. So that's going to start. We'll start implementing that and going through rehearsals with cheer and dance and band and start that stuff. So we'll be ready for basketball game day.
I've heard that there's been, I don't know, improvement, change to the lighting.
Yep.
Is it done? Is it complete?
Next week, I believe.
Okay, because when I was told it wasn't done in time for the coaches clinic last weekend,
Right.
so I wasn't sure if it had been done this week yet. So okay, so it's getting there.
It's getting there.
Lauren, as always, I thank you very much for taking time to share everything you can with us here on the show, and I know the audience appreciates it. And your appearance on this show is good for my ratings. I had one of my friends tell me this is now the best show ever.
Oh,
So I got a text message about that. So you are a superstar, and I appreciate everything you do for the program. And let me see. I'm sure I'll see you in a few days somewhere on campus at some point.
I'm sure. I'm usually running around in the background.
Lauren Sampson, the chief of staff for Houston Cougars men's basketball.
Whatever that means.
It's a nice title.
Whatever.
It doesn't change everything you do. You're still going to work and grind and do it and be you. So
exactly. Really, it has changed nothing.
Lauren, thank you very much. You, as always, you take care. And everyone, it's pretty much the bottom of the hour to take over. I'll play the promo, and once the promo is done, I'll be back and play some clips and other stuff and try to squeeze in a lot of stuff to happen today. Thank you again. I'm Kris Gardner. She's Lauren Sampson. You're watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break on Roku and on the Houston Roundball Review on YouTube. We will be back in about 90 seconds. You're watching the BS3 Network as well.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break. I am, of course, KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Lauren Sampson, Chief of Staff of Houston Cougars men's basketball. I love interviews. I love talking to people and learning from them and learning and seeing their enjoyment in doing what they do. That's one of my favorite things about being in media and being on the Takeover and doing my one-on-one interviews and things like that on the Roundball Review. I got a lot to share and probably won't get into all of it, but in this time, today would be a great day to have a 2-hour show, but that's not going to happen. First things first, I want to play the video of Coach Kelvin Sampson from Tuesday, some comments from Coach Sampson when he spoke with us after practice on Tuesday, and the telling comments he made regarding Kingston Flemings and Isaiah Harwell. Then I'm going to play some comments from Johnny Jones, TSU head coach of men's hoops, from Wednesday SWAC Hoops Media Day, the virtual Zoom. And kudos to the SWAC for making it available for those who cannot attend in Birmingham. So after Coach Jones, then you hear from Coach Byron Smith at Prairie View men's hoops, and then Coach Ty Dillard, Prairie View women's basketball head coach in her first year. You'll hear their answers to my questions because, media days, interviews is 12 coaches in the SWAC. It's 3 hours of interviews and questions, Q&As with the coaches on Tuesday and Wednesday. But first things first, head coach Kelvin Sampson opened some eyes when he said a few things. Take a listen to this.
But all of them, they have tremendous attitude. They have high character. We have great kids. That's one of the reasons why we've had 4 kids transfer in 11 years. It's not an accident. There's a lot of kids that we look at and we recruit, and at the end, nope, we're not interested in signing that kid. Probably better off going to a school where he'll fit in a little bit better. And that's why our recruiting's the way it is.
Coach, how long is that? How long does it take for you to see, to make a decision about a kid? Yeah, no, he's not a fit for this. What does it involve? It's you, the staff, the players?
A lot of it is these guys. All these guys come back. Why would we sign another card? Where's he going to play? We just had a great recruiting class last year. Doesn't make another. You're not going to have another one this year. Where are they going to go? If I was them, I wouldn't come here. There's a great chance Kingston's going to be back. Hartwell's going to be back. Why would they come here? If they want to play, they should go to another school. And that's really usually what happens. And they know, and they'll make that decision because we decided to go. So it's a great decision for them. We look at them and dabble. I'll go and watch him play. Good player. I ain't trading him for Hartwell. He ain't gonna beat out Kingston. So, and then if something happens, some years may be more of a portal year versus a high school year. So we always keep our options open, which is why our record is every year the way it is.
What are your thoughts on what you just heard from Coach Kelvin Sampson? It wasn't, how can I say this? It wasn't a huge surprise because there was it's still October, early October. Kingston could have an All-American year and become a lottery pick or a first-round pick. And if that's the case, then he should go after his freshman year. That's less likely to happen this year than next year. And I don't have Kingston's clip right now, but you can go to the Houston Roundball Review on YouTube and TikTok and Blue Sky and Facebook and Threads, where Kingston said that the reason he chose UH because he did not want anything easy. He wanted to be coached hard. He wanted to learn. He wanted things difficult for him. And he said, it's the reason why I'm going to stay. So he said that as well. And that was on his own. We did not ask him that. He said that on his own. That's why he's going to stay. So Rex states that's an interesting take. Some big names in high school have us on their board, and one of them, there's still some talented guards who are considering and I think who's still going to visit. But I will say this, and I'll provide and members, and that QR code is up there and will be up there for everyone to scan if you're not a member of the YouTube section, members only section. I have provided some info and insight regarding recruiting, regarding the Cougs. I'm going to have another clip posted hopefully today. I might even put it together after this show with some info I learned Tuesday after practice. And there was some Yeah, you just have to. You need to scan. If you're not a member, you need to become a member at the All League tier or the All World tier. And Miss Wanda can attest, and Jamon can attest. I think it's worth it. It's money well spent. I think you will enjoy the info insight that is provided. And I had a live stream test, thanks to Miss Wanda for her help in that. And we're going to roll that out. And YouTube has rolled out a feature in the last probably 5-6 days, where we can switch from a public live stream show to members only. And I'm going to do that soon. Not sure how soon, but I'm going to do that soon. So it might be a Rockets post-game show where I but give a 5-minute heads up and say, okay, everybody who's members, going to switch over for a members only discussion, and toggle over, hit that button on YouTube, and take some Q&A from the members. So that's a new rollout for YouTube. So I'm encouraging you to either spend the $3 a month for the All League or the $5 a month for the All World. Do it for basketball season. That's all you want to do. That's all you can afford. That's fine. Your support is appreciated. And I'm going to say this now before I go into the next 3 clips. This week, heck, since Tuesday, I was the only traditional media person to speak with Matthew Mitchell on Tuesday on campus. Coug Radio was there, and they're brand new, which I'm glad they were there because I don't like being the only media person. So traditional media, just me, speaking with Coach Matthew Mitchell and Brianna Peguero. Both those interviews are posted on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Speaking with Ty Dillard, virtual Zoom session. So local media could participate in Zoom. Y'all know that. It was me and one other colleague on Tuesday, speaking with Ty Dillard and Coach Vernette Skeet, TSU. Wednesday, it was me and Jason Bristol from KHOU, speaking with Johnny Jones and Byron Smith. Again, Zoom. I'm the common thread there, folks. Traditional media, sports media, college, all of that, the coverage is getting smaller and smaller by the traditional outlets. So I am encouraging you, first things first, obviously, to support me in the Houston Roundball Review, but also support Go Coogs. Clearly, Paul Samajama and Let's Rage Coogs. You know, me and Andy, Giannis, Dayon, and Bryce and Fluff, we're tied together with that. So you can see it, the local TV stations, sports coverage is dwindling. They spend more time covering high school sports than they do college sports. So I am speaking for all of me and my small local colleagues. Support us to help provide you coverage and inside info that you're no longer getting from the big boys and big girls. So please do that. Please scan that QR code. Next up, head coach Johnny Jones from TSU. Thank you, James. Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review. Coach, how are you?
Kris, I'm doing great. Yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How, if you can, let us know how the newcomers, because you don't have many, how are they meshing with all of the returning players?
I think they've done a tremendous job of coming in, and again, through recruiting, we answered a lot of our needs. Troy Humstead's been tremendous. He's a young man who was Defensive Player of the Year in the MEAC a couple of years ago, and he's been a great addition. He can play the 4, the 5 for us. Tremendous rebounder. He certainly can defend, can score from the block and outside, and he gives us a little something that we haven't had in the past, and as a post player. And then we've got great size, something we haven't had in the past. I think this team is bigger and stronger than any team that I've had the privilege of coaching at Texas Southern. Jordan Grecky's probably 6'10", about 270, 275. Josh Bowe is about 6'9.5", 265, 270. And that's different for us in the post, and it certainly gives us some much needed depth. And both of those guys are back to the basket players, rebounders, shot blockers, rim protectors, which I think something we did not have on a consistent basis this past season. But we've got depth with those guys, and this gives me a reason to really be excited about this upcoming season.
Coach, how many non-conference home games do you have on the schedule, and who overall are you facing in non-conference?
I tell you, we're excited to have 5 non-conference home games this year. So there's obviously a big difference from years in the past when we usually plan our first home game in January, which becomes conference play. But to have 5 non-conference home games, one against teams returning games, that'd be Sanford out of Alabama. Then we have Sam Houston State as well. Then Abilene Christian will be returning a game to us as well, and then we'll play 2 non-D1s. But very challenging, obviously, on the road, going and starting our season November 3rd at Gonzaga, which would be very difficult, obviously, task for us. And then we also have on that non-conference schedule in terms of Power 5 teams as Texas A&M, North Carolina State, Minnesota, and Vanderbilt. So that's 5 Power 5 schools that we will have an opportunity to compete against during the non-conference portion of our schedule. We also have to return a game to Texas State early part of our season as well, from a game that we played here at home last year. So a very challenging non-conference schedule, but excited for our fan base to have an opportunity to see us play and compete prior to conference play, because we have those 5 home games, and looking forward to our fan base getting used to our players and knowing that they have something to be excited about.
An HBCU school to have 5 non-conference home games is amazing, is truly impressive, and it's a great sign for TSU athletics. Usually, and I think, heck, out of the 11 other SWAC schools, I'm not sure if I check the non-conference schedules for those 11 other schools, if the non-conference home slate total equals 10 among all 11. So for TSU men's hoops to have 5 non-conference home games, kudos to Coach Jones for pulling that off. Next up, head coach Byron Smith, I think in his 9th year at Prairie View A&M. Here we go, head coach Byron Smith from SWAC 2025 SWAC Men's Basketball Media Day. Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review. Coach Smith, how you doing today?
Doing well, Chris. Yourself?
Doing well. How will this season's roster be different than your previous rosters at Prairie View?
First of all, we have size, Chris. That's something that's been plaguing us the last couple of years. And it's not by design. It's just kind of how it happened. We just weren't able to get the size to be able to compete, especially on the boards in our conference. But I feel that we went out and made that the mainstay, what we wanted to address. So we're bigger. I think we're tougher. I think we're stronger on the perimeter, more physicality. So I think the outcome will be much different, than winning, 5 games last year in our 24-25 season.
Coach, how much of an impact has NIL had on recruiting for you?
I mean, tremendous. It impacts everyone's program at the highest level, the Power 5s. Obviously, at our level, it's our conference. We've got several schools that are way down the line with NIL. We're a little bit behind. I'll be very honest with you. We're a little bit behind here at Prairie View, but I think the commitment has been made from our administration to help more, and so we're waiting for that to kick in. But by the grace of God, we've still been able to put together, we think, a very, very, very competitive roster, one that we feel very, very good about. But let's make no mistake about it. These kids are want to be incentivized. They want to be compensated because it's pretty widespread all over the country. So we got to get up. We got to get there pretty quick if we want to maintain any level of winning. Once we can reestablish that, to be able to stay there, we're going to have the dollars behind our program. So hopefully that will kick in, and that'll be something that'll be consistent moving forward.
That was head coach Byron Smith from Prairie View A&M men's basketball. Now we're going to hear from Ty Dillard, head coach Prairie View A&M women's basketball, beginning her first year in charge at Prairie View, and then trying to squeeze in some news regarding the American, Big 12, and SWAC. They announced their preseason predictions, preseason polls, and some Player of the Year honors. I'm going to try to squeeze that in. We'll see if I can get it in. But here you go, head coach Ty Dillard. Hi, Ty. Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review.
Hey, Kris, how's it going?
It's going well, thank you. Define what is Ty Dillard's philosophy and what you hope to instill in your players this first season on the Hill.
Well, this first season will definitely be about creating an identity for our team. And by that, me and my staff have had to really instill, discipline, consistency, accountability, and being competitive. And so with this team, the one thing that we're always going to look for, and what I'm looking for in my players, is just being competitive, being coachable. The style that we'll play will be a style that is fun for the players. They can be creative and play their game on both ends. And so for us to really achieve that, though, we really had to set a foundation of discipline, consistency, accountability, and competitiveness.
And if I may, what are your thoughts on the SWAC as a conference overall and the level of competition and how competitive it is this year?
I think it's going to be very competitive this year. I was able to catch quite a few games last year during the season, and also watching games on Synergy. I think it's wide open. A lot of teams that may have started at the bottom last year really performed well at the end of the season and in the conference tournament. And so I think it's wide open this year. I believe the SWAC always has very competitive players and competitive teams. And so I'm excited to be a part of that, and really working hard to make, the PV Panthers, our team, one of those competitive teams.
Ty, is there any advice that's stood out to you so far from anyone regarding what to expect in your first year as a head coach?
I think the biggest thing is just, for me, just, putting my stamp on things, making sure that, what I want is what is taking place, and just not to think and not to try to overdo, because there's so many things that you're having to do as a head coach that you don't realize head coaches do as an assistant. And so, but the main thing was just, you putting your stamp on it. This is your identity of a team. So make sure that you leave your mark, and this is your identity of how you want your team to be.
That was head coach Ty Dillard, first year head coach of Prairie View A&M women's basketball. These final minutes of this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. All right, try to get this Big 12 news, and not going to get the football news. The schedule, we all know the Cougs are playing Oklahoma State this Saturday, 11 o'clock on TNT. And there will be a Let's Rage Cougs post-game show after the Cougs beat Oklahoma State. So tune in on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, or the Houston Roundball Review Facebook page, or my personal page, or Paul Samajama on YouTube, or Paul Samajama on Twitter. 5 different platforms for you to watch Let's Rage Cougs and participate in the conversation about the Cougs improving on their win-loss season. Go, 5-1 after that? All right. Earlier Thursday, Big 12 and the American announced their women's basketball preseason honors predictions. The individual player of the year award for Big 12, Audie Crooks from Iowa State. TCU's Olivia Miles, newcomer, transfer from Notre Dame. And Cincinnati's D. Alexander, freshman of the year, Miles and Crooks both represented Team USA at the FIBA America Cup this summer, helping capture the gold medal, while Alexander joined Cincinnati as the highest ranked recruit in program history. The Big 12 on women's side needs more and more players like that at each school in the conference. Highest ranked, McDonald's All-Americans, top tier, top 30 players. They need more and more players like that. Elite, cream, top of the top. That's what this conference needs. TCU was selected as the favorite in the conference's preseason coaches poll for the first time in program history. The Horned Frogs swept the regular season and postseason Big 12 titles during the 2024-25 campaign and advanced to the Elite Eight for the first time in school history. Going to bump up and jump to the poll, but I want to say this part, the bottom part here, about Dee Alexander. She is a McDonald's All-American. She's a 5-star guard. Finished number 11 ranked in the country in ESPNW's rankings. Number 1 ranked player in Ohio. She didn't pick Ohio State. She picked Cincinnati. Oh, that's a big thing and great thing for the program and for the conference. She is the first Bearcat signee to be named a McDonald's All-American and was also recognized as Ohio's Gatorade Player of the Year in back-to-back seasons. For the first time in league history, a preseason media poll will be conducted. Not sure why they're doing that. The results will be released the week of October 27th. I say that because they went away from it in football, but they're going to do it in women's basketball. Okay, whatever. A full preview of the 2025-26 Big 12 women's basketball season will take place as the league returns to Kansas City's T-Mobile Center for Big 12 Women's Basketball Media Day. And I'm still hoping to be there in KC on Tuesday the 21st and Wednesday the 22nd. Things have changed, not in a good way, but I'm still hoping to be there. Squeeze in somehow. I'm going to be there. If you can support the Houston Roundball and me, please do so. Email, Zelle, buy shirt, buy merch. It all adds up. But the regular season will begin Monday, November 3rd for men's and women's college basketball, with league action set to start Saturday, December 20th. All 16 teams will head to the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. I don't like that either. But at the end of the season, to compete for the league's postseason title March 4th through 8th or 9th. It's or 9th because March 8th is a Sunday, and if BYU happens to reach the title game, BYU does not participate in athletics on Sundays. That's why it says or 9th. If you are wondering where Coach Mitchell and his Cougs, first-year Cougs, were picked to finish in the preseason poll, 15th. TCU 1, Iowa State 2, Baylor 3, Oklahoma State 4, West Virginia 5, Kansas 6, K-State 7, Utah 8, Colorado 9, BYU 10, Arizona State 11, Cincinnati 12, Texas Tech 13, Arizona 14, the Cougs 15, UCF 16. I'll say this, and then I'm going to switch to the American. I said it about Coach Fritz when the Cougs were picked, I think, 15th in his first year of UH football. I'm going to say it again regarding this time about Coach Mitchell and UH women's basketball. This will be the last time. This will be the last time the Houston Cougars women's basketball team under head coach Matthew Mitchell will be picked to finish as low as 15th. Those days are over. Those days are over. Trust me. Next year and years after, they're going to rise up those rankings. Going to keep rising up. 15, this is it. Better beat them now because those days are about to end. And I believe that from my heart. Not as a Cougar alum, as a member of the media. Better get your licks in now because those days are over. The American also announced results of their preseason coaches poll. South Florida, no surprise, the queen of the conference since UConn returned back to the Big East. They are the defending American Conference Tournament champions. South Florida tabbed as the preseason favorite. The Bulls were selected as a favorite for a 6th consecutive season, earning 11 first-place votes and 143 total points. UTSA, the defending American Conference regular season champs, finished second in voting with 1 first-place vote and 119 total points. Rice earned the final first-place vote and totaled 113 points to finish third. Going to jump right to it. The Owls have 3 players tabbed to the preseason teams. 3 out of the 10 spots. Dominic Ennis, senior guard, named to the first team. Then junior guard Victoria Flores named to the second team, along with sophomore guard forward Anna Alexis. They're both on the second team. And to add to what I said earlier in the show, I will be at Rice Friday morning to watch their practice, women's basketball. So here, one more thing here. Beginning this season, the American Basketball Championship will feature the top 10 teams. So not everybody in the conference will qualify, will reach the conference tournament. The top 10 teams will make the conference tournament in a new 5-day bracket format. The 1 and 2 seeds will advance directly to the semifinals, while the number 3 and 4 seeds will maintain byes to the quarterfinals. The number 5 and number 6 seeds will receive byes to the second round. The 2026 championship will run Tuesday through Saturday, March 10 through 14 at the Legacy Arena at the BJCC in Birmingham, Alabama. That will do it. I'm give the ladies some shine here real quick if I can. Those are the results of the poll. USF 1, UTSA 2, Rice 3, Temple 4, Tulane 5, North Texas 6, East Carolina 7, Tulsa 8, Memphis 9, Charlotte 10, UAB 11, Wichita State 12, and Florida Atlantic 13. Both those teams picked those same spots last year. All conference first team, Rice's Dominic Ennis. Player of the year, Carla Brito from South Florida. Laura Imputo from South Florida. Kayla Turner from Temple. Idara Udo from UTSA. All conference second team, preseason. Rice's Anaya Alexis and Victoria Flores. Tulane's Amira Mabry. Beaumont's own from Tulane, Kendall Sneed, and Maddie Cartwright at Tulsa. That will do it for this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed my conversation, my chat with Lawrence Sampson, the Chief of Staff for Houston Cougars men's basketball. Hope you enjoyed the video clips from Coach Kelvin Sampson, TSU head coach Johnny Jones, and then Prairie View's men's and women's hoops head coaches Byron Smith and Ty Dillard. Content like that and more provided to you on the Houston Roundball Review website, the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, Houston Roundball Review on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, Spoutable, Alignable, and Twitter. Scan that QR code, become a member of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube family. Click on that bell, subscribe to the channel, spread the word about this show, The Takeover, on Thursdays. Spread the word about the Houston Roundball Review. Spread the word about Let's Rage Coogs. We're going to do our post-game show after the Cougs defeat Oklahoma State this Saturday. Post-game show should be start around maybe 2:30 since it's a road game. So tune in for that. Thank you, everyone, for watching the show, participating in the conversation, wrapping it up, as I am proud to do. In case you don't know, if it's new to you, since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective. Take care. Peace.